All right, let's jump right in. The title, The Buddha's Guide to Herding Cows, might sound a little out there, right? But what if I told you that one of the best, most practical guides to mastering your own mind comes from a 2,500-year-old story about, yeah, you guessed it, herding cows?
So, what we're digging into today is a text called the Sutra on Herding Cows, which comes straight from the Buddha. And look, I know it's an ancient parable, but its wisdom, it's so relevant for dealing with the craziness of modern life. You can think of it as a field guide for your own mind. And that really brings us to the big question here, doesn't it? What in the world can a cowherd from 2,500 years ago teach you about focus, discipline, and just finding some inner peace? Well, as it turns out, a whole lot.
Okay, so to really get this, we've got to wrap our heads around the central metaphor the Buddha uses. It's super simple, but trust me, it's unbelievably powerful. And here it is. The Buddha says that a monk, or really anyone trying to get a handle on themselves, is just like a cowherd. And that messy, scattered, sometimes totally stubborn herd of cows, yep, that's your mind. All those thoughts, feelings, and random impulses, that's the herd you've got to guide every single day.
So the story kicks off by showing us what not to do. It gives us this cautionary tale of the unskilled herdsman, which is, a pretty potent symbol for a life that's just drifting without any real intention or discipline. See, this guy, he's clueless about 11 key things he needs to do to take care of his cows. He doesn't know how to protect them, where the good food is, or even how to lead them. And the result? It's grim. The herd just gets smaller and weaker until, well, it falls apart.
And this is where you really see what's at stake. The text doesn't pull any punches. It says a person who just ignores their inner world like this, they're not going to build any foundation for growth. Instead, they risk falling into states of suffering and total confusion. It's a serious warning, for sure. But then, there's a pivot. After showing us the road to ruin, the Buddha lays out the path to success. And this path is all about the skilled herdsman and the 11 things he does to make his herd thrive. Right, this is the person we want to be. The skilled herdsman, he gets it. He knows what his cows need. He's on it. He's wise. He's caring. And because of that, his herd just flourishes. But let's be super clear. These 11 skills aren't really about herding cows. They're a direct roadmap for training our own minds. So let's break down a few of them. All right, first up, a good cowherd knows how to protect his cows if they get a cut or a wound. Keep the flies and infection out. Spiritually, what does that mean for us? It means guarding our senses. And what's crazy about this one is just how modern it feels, right? Think about it. Our senses are like these open wounds where the whole world just rushes in. So guarding them means being mindful of our information diet. The news we watch, the social media we endlessly scroll, the gossip we get into. It's about managing all that so we're not constantly being wound up, distracted, or just plain irritated. Okay, let's grab another one. A herdsman makes smoke to keep annoying insects from bothering the herd. The spiritual parallel here, it's teaching others what you've learned. When you share wisdom, you're not just helping them, you're also protecting yourself and them from the insects of ignorance and confusion. I love that. Here's a great one. A skilled herdsman knows the safe places to cross a river. He's not going to lead his herd straight into a raging current, right? For our minds, this is all about knowing the Four Noble Truths. Think of them as the foundational map for getting across the, sometimes tricky, river of life. And this is that map. It's like a really practical, four-step game plan for life. First, just admit that, life has its struggles and frustrations. That's step one. Step two, figure out why. What's the root cause? Usually, it's our own wanting and clinging. Step three is the good news. You don't have to be stuck there. There's a way out. And step four? That's the actual path, the how-to guide for getting across those choppy waters. All right, next. A herd needs a good place to eat to stay healthy, right? A cowherd has to know where to find that lush green grass. For us, for our minds, that good pasture is the practice of mindfulness, specifically what are called the Four Foundations. So this is our good pasture. It's basically paying close, honest attention to four things. 1, your body and what it's feeling. 2, your emotions, good, bad, or just blah. 3, that constant chatter of thoughts in your head. And 4, the deeper patterns and habits your mind has. The idea is that by grazing in this field of awareness, our mind gets fed, gets stronger, and finds some real clarity. So as you can see, this is way more than just some dusty old religious text. It's an incredibly practical playbook for anyone who's tired of being dragged around by their own thoughts and wants to start steering the ship with some actual purpose. Now, we've only covered a few of these, but all 11 skills together, they form a complete system. They teach you how to manage what comes in, how to see things clearly, how to find that mental nourishment, and how to act with wisdom. It's literally a complete toolkit for becoming a skilled master of your own mind. So what's the end game here? What's the ultimate result of all this practice? Well, the sutra doesn't just stop at having a thriving herd. No, it makes a pretty bold and very specific promise about what's actually possible. 6. Just 6. That's the number of years the text says it takes for someone who diligently practices these skills to achieve full enlightenment. Now, whether you take that number literally or see it as a metaphor for a serious period of practice, the message is powerful. Deep, profound transformation isn't some pie-in-the-sky dream. It's a real, attainable goal with a clear path to get there. And at the end of the day, this isn't about just blindly believing something. It's all about putting these skills into practice. The text wraps up by hammering this point home. A diligent, mindful way of living is the path. That's the conduct that leads to wisdom, and that's what's praised as the highest way to live. And that brings it all right back to you right now. This ancient story has laid out the entire map. It shows us the two paths, the neglected mind that just gets weaker and weaker, and the well-tended mind that truly thrives. The choice, really, is up to us. Your mind is your herd, so the only question that matters is, how are you going to guide it?